Hi, I'm Fiona, and I'm 30 years old. I stay at home with my two lovely kids. Life's been mostly good lately, but there's been some trouble with my husband. A while back, we had a big fight, and it's all because of his mom. You know how moms can be important to their sons, right? Well, sometimes it feels like she's a bit too involved. My husband is what you might call a mama's boy, and it can be tough to deal with sometimes. Our argument went like this. Fiona, can you come here for a minute? Sure, what's up? I need to talk to you. Please sit down. Is everything all right? Yes, everything's okay. I just wanted to talk about how we need to spend less money on some things at home. Is everything all right with your job? Yeah, work's fine. Don't worry. I just decided we need to spend more on something important, so we have to cut back on other stuff. Okay, what's the new expense? He took a deep breath, like he knew I wouldn't like what he had to say. I'm going to start giving Mom some money every month. It won't be a lot, but she's getting older and she needs some extra cash. I felt unsure and puzzled. It didn't seem right to me to give money to someone who already had plenty. My mother-in-law, Rita, had a successful business, and since she was a widow and her kids had moved out, she didn't need more money. I told my husband how I felt about it, but he tried to reassure me. How much money are we talking about? Don't worry about it. Excuse me? I'm the one managing the household, so I need to know. How much? I'm going to send her $4,000 every month. I was shocked. $4,000 a month? That seemed crazy to me, considering that's what many people spend in total each month. He'd be giving her all that money for basically nothing. I tried to argue with him, saying it wasn't possible, but he wouldn't budge. Our argument got so bad that we ended up sleeping in different beds that night. We're well off, but I always try to be smart with our money so we don't waste it. Giving someone $4,000 a month for no good reason, just because she's my mom and I love her, adds up to $48,000 a year. That money could go towards our kids' college funds, their savings accounts, our health insurance, or even better, it could go to people who actually need it, like charities. I tried explaining this to him, but he wasn't willing to listen. 5 months passed since he began sending money to his mother, and to add insult to injury, he wanted me to be the one to send it to her. It felt like he was trying to punish me and show that he'd always put his mother first. But thankfully, his arrogant behavior wouldn't last forever. I stumbled upon something shocking. It all began when my mother-in-law visited us 3 months after she started getting the allowance. Hello, Fiona. How's my favorite daughter-in-law? I'm doing well, thank you. How about you? Oh, I'm feeling so much better ever since Adam started sending me money. I was struggling a bit before, you know. The business wasn't doing as well as I hoped, but I didn't want to ask for help. I guess Adam just sensed it. It's like our special mother-son connection. I felt terrible hearing this. How could I deny her the money she needed? I always thought she was fine, but she wasn't. She started to cry, and I comforted her. I've always been okay with sharing money with those who need it, and Rita clearly did. Also, I thought. After a heart-to-heart talk, I noticed something strange. Rita started talking about going on luxury trips now that she had extra money. It didn't make sense to me. If she needed money, why talk about trips? But whenever I looked confused, she'd backtrack and say she meant once she became rich again. It was odd, but I brushed it off because she said she needed the money. 2 more months passed, and I kept sending her the money. She'd always thank me profusely, saying how much she needed it. I felt bad for doubting her and guilty for arguing with my husband. Unfortunately, we started feeling the effects of less money in our household. It's tough to change your routine. Still, I tried to cut back wherever I could, and we managed to get by. Then, one night, I came across a text from his mother while cleaning my husband's office. Curiosity got the better of me, so I read it. Hey Adam, hope you're doing well. Could you increase my monthly allowance? I want to enjoy some extra luxuries. I was stunned. How could she ask for more money when she already gets enough to cover the average monthly expenses of a single person in America? Remember, she's a healthy, capable 65-year-old widow who lives alone. So why did she need more money, especially for luxuries? It didn't add up. My sympathy for her was fading, and I couldn't resist the urge to find out more. Ignoring the email from his mother on my husband's computer, I started searching through the family finances. Unfortunately, I didn't find any evidence of wrongdoing, so I decided to come up with a plan. Hi Fiona, everything all right? Why are you calling so late? Hello, Rita. I hope everything's okay with you. Well, I'm managing, but honestly, it's been tough. Sometimes I struggle to afford even basic things like toiletries. I'm really grateful to my son for helping me out. Anyway, I was thinking, would you like to come over for tea tomorrow? Tea sounds wonderful. Thank you for inviting me. You know, things have been tight for me too. Sometimes I can't even afford tea, so it'll be nice to have some with you. Oh, it'll be my pleasure, Rita. Just come over, and we'll have a nice afternoon together. All right then, see you soon. Bye. Bye. With that, I hung up, preparing for my plan. The next day, Rita came over, and we had a lovely time. As we were chatting during our afternoon tea, Rita excused herself to use the bathroom. This was my chance to snoop around. I quickly went through her purse and found her phone, which was unlocked. I opened her banking app, determined to uncover the truth about her financial situation. Women's intuition rarely fails, and I stumbled upon some shocking news. With my suspicions growing stronger, I delved into her financial records, expecting to find evidence of financial struggle. However, nothing could have prepared me for what I discovered. Rita had over $1.6 million in her bank account as of 6 months ago. I was stunned. I had to exit the app and reopen it just to confirm that I wasn't mistaken. But there it was, clear as day. She had a huge sum of money in her account. Confusion overwhelmed me, and then, to make matters even more bewildering, I noticed a familiar text message on her phone. It was from one of her employees, and it said, "Hello, Rita. Please find attached the financial breakdown of last month's earnings. Just wanted to let you know, it looks like we've made a big profit for the 4th month in a row. You're a fantastic businesswoman. I'm eager to hear your thoughts." Naturally, I opened the attached document and my eyes widened at the sight of even more money. The report showed a monthly profit of $8,400 for a small business. It was truly impressive. At this rate, the business would thrive. Sitting there in shock for what felt like ages, I couldn't help but feel furious. This lady was taking money from her son's household, from her own grandchildren, for no real reason other than to satisfy her own ego. As I heard Rita returning from the restroom, quickly, I erased all traces of my snooping and placed her phone back in her purse. Rita returned, thanking me for the tea. "Oh, Fiona, thank you again for the lovely tea. You know, as an old lady, it's tough to manage, especially when you're already struggling. Lately, things have been really hard for me, dear, and I'm so grateful for you and your husband's help. Say, could I ask you for something, if it's not too much trouble?" "Of course. What do you need?" "We're just happy to help. But may I ask, is it possible for me to get some more money, maybe an increase to $6,000 a month?" Let me tell you, it took every ounce of self-control not to explode and lash out at this woman for all the nonsense she was putting me through. I gritted my teeth and responded, "I understand your struggles, since you're clearly going through a tough time. It's not like you're a millionaire or anything." She froze for a moment, a subtle reaction that I might have missed if I didn't know what I knew. But because I was aware, I caught it. Luckily for her, she quickly recovered. "Oh no, of course not. If I were, I wouldn't be asking you, darling. So what do you say?" "Unfortunately, I don't think we can manage an extra $2,000. As soon as I said this, Rita's smile faded, replaced by what seemed like irritation. She pressed her lips together, clearly frustrated. "Oh, that's all right, no problem. Well, I have to leave now, so let's catch up again soon." She left in a hurry, almost as if she had just been rejected by a lover, and wanted to escape to avoid embarrassment. Now, knowing she was a liar and a thief, any sympathy I had for her vanished. I debated whether to tell my husband what I found, but I decided against it. He needed to see her true colors for himself, especially after he criticized me so harshly. It was a painful lesson he needed to learn on his own. A couple of days passed, and it was time to send my mother-in-law her monthly allowance of $4,000. Despite having the money from my husband, I chose not to. I wanted her to feel the shock and disappointment when the money didn't arrive later that day. It would be a wake-up call she sorely needed. Just as I anticipated, my husband called me a couple of hours later. "What's going on?" "What do you mean? Why are you upset?" "Don't play dumb, Fiona. I know what you're up to. Why haven't you sent Mom the allowance? I'm getting tired of your games. You won't believe what I found out. There's a reason behind what I'm doing. Listen, I understand you care about your mom. I'm sorry if you feel I don't appreciate that, but you need to hear me out. You don't even earn a dime to have a say in how we spend our money. It's my money and I'll decide what to do with it. So when I say send money, you do it. You're just a housewife. Remember that. His words shattered my heart. How could he talk to me like that? I was stunned. All the anger I'd bottled up for so long suddenly erupted. So I decided to fire back. You know what your problem is? You don't appreciate me. You think being a housewife and mom is a breeze. Well, let's see how easy it is without me. I'm not sticking around to be treated like this. But before I go, check your mother's bank account. Don't bother calling me until you've done that. Have a nice evening. Fiona, wait, I didn't mean. I hung up. I was fed up with being treated like dirt. Sometimes life throws challenges our way to remind us to take a break. I've been working so hard, and it's all taken for granted. Let's see how he manages without me, especially when he finds out his mom's a liar and a thief. I sent him the pictures I took of his mom's bank account while I was investigating. Then I switched my phone to do not disturb mode. I packed bags for me and the kids and checked into a nearby hotel, not wanting to disrupt their school routine. They asked why we were staying in a hotel, and to spare them unnecessary worry, I told them our house was being fumigated, so we needed to stay here for a while. I said Daddy would stay in another hotel. I couldn't bear to burden my sweet angels with the truth. They didn't need to suffer when I was already struggling. I needed to heal for them first. Even with my phone on Do Not Disturb, messages flooded my inbox from both my mother-in-law and my husband. But I was too drained to deal with it all, so I spent the night relaxing and playing with my children. Morning came, and I was woken up by a phone call. Hello, Miss Fiona. There's someone named Adam here who'd like to meet you. We have to confirm if you know each other for safety reasons. Yes, I know him. He's my husband. You can let him know my room number. Adam arrived at my door, and I opened it. He immediately hugged me tightly, squeezing me tightly. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for everything. I saw the evidence you sent me, and you were right not to give her any more money. He began to cry in my arms, and I comforted him. I invited him into the room, and we started talking. Darling, I'm so sorry for everything. I'm glad you realized what was going on. Can you tell me what happened? Just then, my mother-in-law called. I decided to answer it. Hello. How dare you invade my privacy like that? I could sue you, you know. Do you even need the money? How dare you try to ruin my reputation in front of my son? It doesn't matter. He loves me, and he'll do whatever it takes to make me happy. You think he'll stop sending me money? Ha, you must be delusional. You think he'll listen to a mere housewife? You're sorely mistaken. Yes, I have money. I always had money since my husband passed away. I just like to control Adam sometimes so he doesn't get too arrogant. He needs to remember that mommy comes first. The voice on the phone wasn't my mother-in-law's. It was like a monster, so different and filled with malice. Her yelling woke up the children. So, you're not bothered by how your selfishness has disrupted this household. You don't care that Adam and I have been arguing because of your actions. You don't even care that you've been stealing from your own son and grandchildren. Oh, come on. You two are headed for divorce anyway. I can't wait for that. They'll come home to me eventually. And as for those kids, well, I guess I don't really care. Mom, that's incredibly cruel. Adam, honey, listen. I didn't mean it. Did you hear all of that? Adam, my love. Nope, that won't work on me this time. I've seen your true colors, and I've had enough. You've made the past few months hell for me and Fiona. How could you manipulate me like that? I'm your son. What kind of evil has possessed you to do such a terrible thing? I can't even imagine. I fell for your tricks, but my wonderful wife Fiona saw through you all along. She knew something was off, but I shouted at her and disrespected her. Not anymore. Fiona is my real family, not you. I never want to hear from you again. Adam, wait. But I have no one. Maybe that's how it should be. Click. Adam ended the call, and though he was upset, I could see a sense of relief in him. He'd been manipulated like this his whole life. Realizing that must have been a heavy burden, but it was lifted now. For the rest of the day, Adam apologized to me and the kids for his behavior and distance. He admitted he couldn't even survive one night without me. He's realized his mistakes and promised not to repeat them. And as for his mother, he meant it when he said he didn't want to hear from her again. She kept trying to call, but he always declined. She'd made her bed, and now she had to lie in it.